Let's go.
It's your back, it dey keep passing. It dey bring out the best in me. I dey feel your recipe. Make you give me that recipe. Fine, fine. Yeah, you fine. You so divine. I dey feel you die.
And here we go, y'all. Welcome to another episode of Awesome Entertainment. It's your boy Joe Lawson. I watched the movie Supergirl. Alright, so let's just get into it. We going spoilers, we going everything, we jumping right into it. I'm actually gonna do this video. I'm gonna do a little comparison, alright? I'm gonna do a little compare and contrast. Supergirl and He-Man, alright? I watched He-Man as well, Masters of the Universe. So I'm gonna review both videos, spoilers all up in that shit. So if you ain't watched either one of them and you plan on watching them, hit save. Come back later, it's all good. But like the shit, you know what I'm saying? Like the shit, give me a subscribe or something. But I'm gonna compare both. So we're going into Supergirl first. Supergirl was, I give it like, what did I give Superman? I think I gave Superman a 6 or something, a 6 or 5. This is about a 5 out of 10. It's not that it's bad, it's that it's bad. Right? It's not, it's not that it's bad. It just could have been way better. Way, way, way better. First off, it feels like Guardians of the Galaxy 4. Anybody who says it don't is tripping. But worse, because she acts just like Peter Quill. She's like a Peter Quill, bro. She's straight. This is straight out of Guardians. The aliens and everything. You could probably put some side by side. They probably got some alien heads that they use on both movies because this shit was straight Guardians of the Galaxy. But it just didn't hit. Now I think part of the issue was I didn't read the Woman of Tomorrow comic books, but I watched Rob from Comics Explained video. You probably watched it too. If you're watching this channel, you probably seen it. But anyway, if you watch that video, what Rob describes is basically this movie. Like, they almost copied the movie word for word, bar for bar. You know, it's the whole fucking flow. And that's what fans have been asking for. Fans have been like, yo, just copy the comics, just copy the comics. And I'm thinking we're getting to a point where sometimes you can't listen to the fans. Sometimes you can't listen to the fans. There are certain comic books out there. I'm not even gonna mention them right now, but there's some that are uber popular, and then I read them, and then I'm like, yo, this comic book really ain't that interesting. And it's okay, but it really ain't that interesting. It's getting hyped for the wrong reasons. And I think when he was explaining the Woman of Tomorrow comic book, it was okay. It was okay. I can understand why people would like the comic, but to me, I'm like, this doesn't seem strong enough to make a whole movie out of, to me. But the villain is so weak that it doesn't make any sense. Like, if you know DC, at least you know DC to a slightly knowledgeable. This is not a well-known villain. It's not like nobody knows Krim. I don't know Krim. Nobody knows who that is. It's not like the character has a set personality that we're expecting. It's not an expectation. So why not let this guy like get into his bag? Like, why not create a character with like some real personality? Like it's like a basic default villain that's gonna do this thing. They put some bedazzles on his face and they kept it pushing. And it was like, you could have put some more effort into the villain. You definitely could have put some more effort in the villain, maybe an origin story. But I feel like, once again, this is kind of one of those missed opportunities at DC that we're talking about. Why have such a no-name, pointless-ass villain? Why not just make Lobo the villain? Lobo is a kind of like an anti-hero, anti-villain type guy. Like, he's not all evil, but he does evil shit. Like, he kills people and does shit. He should have just been the villain. He's a much more interesting character, usually. And it was like, why? Like, you have this opportunity to use DC characters and you want to promote, you know, your movie and you want everybody to watch it. Why just use one character that everybody cares about? Like, let's just say Supergirl is a character that we care about, which some people don't, but we'll say it is. She's the only one. She's legitimately the only one in the movie. Nobody's looking for Ruthie. Ruthie was literally just written in for the Woman of Tomorrow comic. Like, it's just a made up character for the comic. Krim, I don't know if he is or isn't, but either way, no one's checking for him. Like in Superman, they stuffed it full of Green Lantern. They stuffed it full of Mr. Terrific. Who else they put in there? Hot Girl. It's like, and it was too much. It's like we didn't even focus on Superman, and you still had Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor needed some focus. Lex Luthor. They kind of did the right thing with this one with just keeping it Supergirl, but like, add a villain that we care about, right? You don't have a Lex Luthor guy. Lobo should have been that guy. So let's talk about Lobo for a minute, man. Jason Momoa was Aquaman. He looks like Lobo. He could act like Lobo-ish. That's what we were supposed to. That's what we were expecting. But everybody who's hyping this shit up, to me, did you watch the animated Superman? That's the Lobo I was expecting. Maybe I'm crazy, but even in the animated cartoons, he was still the same. Lobo had this over the top, super, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't say flamboyant, but like, he has a personality that's so huge. Like, he's Lobo, baby. I pull up on the chop. Like, Lobo was a guy who you think yells when he talks. You know what I mean? Like, he yells every word he speaks. I'm Lobo, baby. I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Let's crack some beans. Let's get drunk. Let's kill some motherfuckers. Also, whoa. Let's talk about this, bro. Lobo is a crude guy. Cursing, yelling, screaming. This whole movie is filthy and disgusting. Some things need to be checked on James Gunn because balls and buttholes is all he cares about. Every fucking joke is about balls, buttholes, pissing, shitting, and vomiting. Everything. It's just all throughout the movie. It's like, I can't take you. If I had a daughter, I don't have a daughter, but if I did, I wouldn't take her to see this shit. I wouldn't take my son to see this shit. This shit is disgusting sometimes. But the crazy thing is, the crudest, most vulgar, most, what's the word I'm looking for? Inappropriate character is Lobo, and he's the most. He's not crude, or he's not like cussing and burping and screaming, and he's none of those things. He's really chill. Like, he's like, yeah, I'm Lobo. You guys are useless. Like, he kind of has the voice a little bit, but he doesn't have the personality where he's like screaming at everybody and yelling. Lobo's all over the place with it. To me, it's like doing a movie that's like disgusting, raunchy, and R-rated, and we're gonna put Deadpool in the movie and make him not say anything disgusting, raunchy, or crude. I'm like, okay, this is the one guy who fits this genre. I don't know why Supergirl is in this, but he's the one guy who actually fits this disgusting nature, this disgusting humor. And he's not even acting that way. He's not over the top. He's not cursing at anybody. He's not making booby jokes or nothing. Like, I'm like, Lobo's kind of tame. That's all. He's a tame Lobo. He's a chill Lobo. I'm like, nah. He looks like him ish. I feel like they should have put way more makeup. Should have been way more white paint on his face and stuff. And but nah. It wasn't over the top. And a movie filled with nothing but disgusting humor. It's crazy that he doesn't even, none of that shit hits. Supergirl for herself, she's Peter Quill, bro. Like, it's straight up Peter Quill. She's depressed. She's seen her family, drinking a lot. She got the same jacket and everything. Music and the fight scenes and everything was the same, man. It was just Guardians all over again. Let me say some nice things. The action scenes were okay. But not really creative. It wasn't. I don't. There's nothing like I remember that part. I can't tell you. Some shit happened. She threw down. She did, but it wasn't nothing to remember. Overall, the movie was mid to lower mid. I think the issue is knowing the characters. I was gonna say this. So I was starting off thinking knowing the characters, knowing the lore distracts you from what's supposed to be. Like I'm watching Lobo and I'm like, he's supposed to be like this. And I'm watching Supergirl, I'm like, she's supposed to be like this. And I'm like, your villain should probably be like this. But when I watch He-Man, for example, right? So I don't know shit-talkie about He-Man. I didn't watch He-Man as a kid. It wasn't my bag. I do know he be screaming, I got the power. That's kind of cool. I know he big swole dude that be kicking ass. So I don't really know nothing about He-Man. But I was going to go ahead and watch the movie because I'm thinking, okay, sometimes when I don't know the lore, I enjoy the movie more than people who actually do know the lore. So with that said, I'm getting into the He-Man review before I do the comparison of the two. So ultimately, I had no issues from the start. When it started, I had no issues because I don't know each individual character. So I don't know, is this a character they added just for the movie? Or is this a character actually from He-Man lore? I have zero clue. So I don't have any expectations set for each character. I will say this. Let's talk about Idris Elba. Idris Elba was in this movie, and I kind of like what they did with him. I just didn't like the comedic relief. So the whole issue with this entire movie, the most negative thing I have to say about this, the comedy is not funny, and it's just too much, and it's not necessary. It's not funny. It's not necessary, and it's way too much. Idris Elba has a lot of comedic, relief, kind of like comedic jokes and shit. But like, I like that they didn't kill him. He was kicking ass, especially in some of the later scenes, like Heimdall should have been doing in Thor Ragnarok. Like, if you watch Thor Ragnarok, and I think it was what's the one, Dark World. Heimdall doesn't do too much fight. He does a little bit of fight. I'm like, yo, let a brother get some action, get some highlights, get some 15 minutes before you just kill him off. You know what I mean? Like they did. And what they did with Idris was better in this movie, but still the comedy just took him out. Well, if you're gonna be a hard ass, be a hard ass. He's supposed to be the trainer and all that. Either way, the comedy takes away from this movie. It's just not necessary. It is like, this is my issue. We talk about Masters of the Universe. We're talking about the universe. We're talking about the world, conquering the world, destroying the world, anything like that. All our lives are at risk. You can't crack a fucking fart joke after that. It doesn't work in the dynamic of what's going on. And we'll just talk about superheroes, fantasy, and what. If you're telling me the world is about to end, but the whole movie is like fart, 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 I'm like, yo, my heart's supposed to be beating right now. Am I supposed to feel the intense moments? His fucking dad dies in this movie, and you feel nothing. And I'm not going to say it wasn't earned because the character had a lot of development, a lot of back and forth with his dad. We understand his relationship with his dad. We understand who his dad was and what he was trying to do in making him a man and making him a good warrior. It was actually, his dad actually had a storyline and everything. And killing him off is supposed to be like, oh man, that's supposed to hit. And it did a little bit, but it doesn't because you already don't take the whole show seriously at all. And I think that's the thing with superheroes. They wear these ridiculous costumes. They find these ridiculous villains. They got these ridiculous powers. If they don't take themselves seriously, then the viewer can't take the thing seriously. Talk about Supergirl. Let's talk about the best universe for DC. To me, is the Flashverse, the Arrowverse. And the Arrowverse ain't even good. It's just that they take themselves seriously. At least it's like, shit, nigga, if someone's about to die, my wife's about to die, and they motherfuckers ain't cracking fart jokes the whole time. And that was my issue with this movie. I was like, the fights were better than way better than Super. So there was some shit that went down in here that I can remember. I remember the dude with the neck that be swinging his neck around, just smacking people around. The dude with the, what he call Ram Man, that be blasting people like he got a bullet head. Like, the fights were good. Like, good. They put some detail in it. Now, it took too long to get to the good part. We're about 40 minutes, maybe an hour in before he actually became He-Man. That was a little bit too much for me, especially when it's so goofy. Like if you're like with the Punisher shit was serious, and they did give him his suit at the end, and it was kind of lame that they waited so long, but you still were were drawn into the story because it was serious, right? I'm still locked in. I'm still taking it serious. When you start joking around and goofing around, oh, okay, it's just a joke. Well, let's get to the good part. Let's get to the good part. You ever go play a sport and then everybody's not taking it serious and you're just like, it's not as fun. Or you're playing a board game and everybody playing is just breaking all the rules and nobody gives a fuck. It's just like this is not fun. Can we just take it serious for half a second so we can get to the competition, to the actual conflict? Conflict, if you're cheesing and laughing during a conflict situation, how do people treat it? Oh, he's cool. Like, we ain't worried about him. You was laughing and joking. How are you gonna punch somebody in the face? You need to be serious. If some shit's going down that's supposed to be serious, please be serious. So my thing was I was gonna compare the two movies, He-Man and Supergirl, right? Because they're actually kind of similar. Single kind of hero, not like a group or nothing. And then you got like the outer space alien element of it. They got the spaceships and stuff. Like it's very similar if you think about it. If you watch it, He-Man did a way better job with the aliens. Way better job. Way better. Way more effort. Now I don't know if that's because these are directly out of He-Man lore, like Infinity War, right? There's that guy that Thanos had that could move stuff with his mind. His name's Ebony Maw. He had the no nose. I think he called him Squidward. Ebony Maw is directly out of the comics, so it's not like he's a nobody. He may be a nobody to us, right, to the general fans, but he's in the comics, so he was pulled directly out. I don't know what villains or aliens or allies were pulled directly out of He-Man because I don't know shit about He-Man. So most of them I didn't care for. Talia, his sidekick chick, she was a baddie. I'll give her that, and she was probably one of the only side characters that added to the show. Her character actually made sense and was a little bit, she was a little bit annoying, but at the same time, we understood her purpose. Everybody else is like, you're just here just for comedic relief. Nobody else had any importance. But when comparing the movies, it's hard to say He-Man was better. It was better. But like I said, you get to the point where it's so goofy that you don't care. I came over here to start making a video and realized I didn't even finish the movie. Like I had to stop and finish the last 4 minutes before I started shooting the video because I was like, I didn't even finish this. Like that's how bad it was, and that's kind of how Supergirl was. Supergirl, if I was to give you a ranking, how do you feel about the movie? If you were watching with friends, you would probably keep watching. You wouldn't say nothing. But if your friend cut it off, you wouldn't be like, "Hey man, put that back on." No, you'd be all right. Bet. What are we watching now? Like you wouldn't tell them to cut it off, but you definitely wouldn't tell them to keep it on. I kind of feel the same about He-Man. I might have wanted to finish it just to find out, but they didn't set up the movie to where you want to find out what happens at the end. Like it wasn't set up like that. The guy who played He-Man, he was alright, I guess. He didn't really do nothing for me. Like I said, the girl had the most personality. Idris Elba had the most personality, but he didn't. He was a goofball, and yeah, it was just like wow. My theory was that I know the DC lore a little bit too much, so when I'm watching Lobo, I'm like, Lobo's not supposed to act like that. You know what I mean? Like, and there was shit happening in Supergirl that didn't make any sense. She was on the Red Sun and she was fighting people like she was super strong. She goes to the Red Sun to lose her powers so she could get drunk. But when she starts fighting people on the planet with the Red Sun, she's strong enough to withstand all these blows and fight back. Like I was like, that didn't make any sense. And then there was a point in time where they were on like the Yellow Sun. It was back and forth with the Lord, the Kryptonite and the suns, and like, wait, this shit shouldn't be happening with that sun there, or this should be happening with this sun here. It was the lore was off, and I'm like maybe because I know the DC lore too much that it throws the movie off. So that's why I thought He-Man would be better. And maybe there's less things that annoy me, but He-Man annoyed me almost equally as much just because of the shitty ass comedy. It was just not funny and not necessary. And I'm like, if a movie like this where he was like intense, like, yo, I'm here to avenge my father, I'm here to do some shit. Like, I don't know what He-Man's story is. So. But if he was like, yo, I'm like Hercules, like I'm ready to fuck somebody up, and then you get in my way, you gonna get fucked up too. I feel like he would be a little bit more character than, I don't want to do this, and I don't even know what I'm doing, and, rainbows and sunshine and lollipops. It just takes it out, man. It takes out the intensity. We're fighting. We shouldn't be fighting and giggling at the same time. Like, those two things don't mix, y'all. They just, real fight, real violence and giggles don't mix. In real life and on the screen. So, man, my theory is still up in the air. It's still up in the air. Because does knowing the lore, set expectations too high or not? I don't know. Y'all let me know, man. Y'all answer the question. Let me know what you think about both movies. Which one's good? Which one's trash? I give Supergirl I would give that shit like I'll say a 5. I'll say like a 5.8. It was almost a 6. It was like a 5.8. It was like, it kept almost getting good and then like not. Same as He-Man. He-Man kept almost getting good and then putting a fart joke. I would probably give He-Man like a 6.3 though. It's a little bit higher. The fights were way better. The fights were at least interesting. If they did like a montage of the He-Man fights, I wouldn't even hate on nobody for that. Like, I understand that. Just the storyline, the plot was cool. It's just like the acting, like the directing, just we don't need the jokes, man. We don't need the jokes. Either way, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Hit like, hit share, hit subscribe. No.
Don't play with my patience, man. They gone with the flow when they tryna fake it. That's not the way I roll, that's not the combination. You start off with the dough before you start the conversation. No one start the salutations, man. Don't play with me. I'm coming from a place they would hate to be. I'm going through a phase you would hate to see. They say this life's a trip. Ain't no telling where it's taking me. When you on the edge and you make your next move, better be your best. Before you throw it to the depths, better reinvest. Man, I count every moment and count every step, so I know I'm blessed. Now it's